Assalamualaikum, dear fellows. Welcome to the day two of our summer research internship. I hope मेरी voice clear होगी. If it's not clear, you can um, tell me in the chat. Okay, thank you. Welcome to the day two of our summer research internship, and today we will focus on fundamental terms which are very fundamental in research, and you will encounter them repeatedly in your career whenever you will be doing research. These are research methods and research methodology. It is our day two of research internship, and we will be discussing today research and research methodology. These terms may sound similar, but these terms serve different purposes, and understanding them is essential whether you are reading an article, you are writing an article, or you are conducting your own research study, or working on any other type of research. So you must know about these terms. So before we will move towards our presentation, which is today's lecture is based on research methods and research methodology. So first of all, we will discuss about research methods or research method or research methods. What are research methods? These are practical tools used to conduct research, and you can think of them as an instrument. And these include experiments, surveys, case studies, and statistical tools. And if you are trying to find out how many people in your hospital suffer from high blood pressure, you might conduct a survey or check medical records. This process is your method. So basically, these are various procedures and schemes which are used in research that may be different, like just like I told you earlier that this may include experiments, surveys, and all these things. And you will be using, and all the methods you used during your research or any researcher used during a research study are terms as research methods. And these are plain and very specific, essentially planned, scientific, and value natural value of natural. And these include theoretical procedure. There are some theories in this, and essential experimental studies, numerical schemes, statistical approaches, and research methods help us to collect sample data and find the solution to a problem. So basically, the research methods include everything from how you select your participant, from how you analyze data, and just like I told you earlier that this might be theoretical, like defining some concepts, and experimental studies like testing some sort of drugs efficacy, and numerical like calculating averages, mean, median, modes, or maybe statistical, just like finding correlation and regression and conducting t-test and all these things. So basically, let's say if I give you an example from a medical field, let's say you are looking at average heart rate in smoker versus non-smokers, and you will collect data, calculate the average numerical, and may run a test, like t-test or other tests. So all these things are your research methods. Basically, let's we will discuss now research methodology. And what is basic research methodology? It is a systematic way to solve a problem, and it is a plan behind your method. It's the blueprint of your research study. It answers questions like why are you using some specific method, how will you carry out the study step by step, and it is a science of studying how research is to be carried out. So basically, you research methodology is basically the details of everything that you will be carrying out your research, and essentially the procedure by which researchers go about their work of describing, explaining, and predicting phenomena are called research methodologies. So these are the research methodology, and it is also defined as the study of methods by which knowledge is gained, and it's aimed to give the work plan of a research. So imagine you want to find out why medical students are stressed, and your research methodology might include choosing final year students, giving them a questionnaire, analyzing their answers, and explaining why you choose that age group. So basically, this is the research methodology on which you will be working, and explaining each and everything that why you are working on some sort of specific research method, and this will be a methodology. So importance, if you look at the importance of Research methodology in research study. So, if it is necessary for researcher to design methodology for the problem chosen, if you have chosen some problem and you want to solve that specific problem, you must find out is or design a methodology for that problem. And one should note that even if the method considered is in two problems are the same, the methodology may be different. Like survey in medical field might be different from survey in social sciences field, and even if two researchers use the same methods, their methodology could differ depending on the topic. For example, let's say that two survey may ask different questions, different target groups, and AR different age groups, or use different analysis tool, and methodology ensure the research fits the purpose. So basically methodology will make sure that the research fits that the purpose. And for example, let me give you a simple example. If you and your friend both use questionnaires, you study sleep habits in students and your friend studies phone addiction. The method is same, which is a questionnaire method, but the methodology is different. So now you can easily define that how you can use a single method for two different studies or in two different ways. So the methodology is it is important for the researcher to know not only the research method necessary for the research undertaker but also the methodology. And the researcher needs to know that which is the suitable method for the chosen problem. So methodology will give you the direction. Methodology gives you the direction. It's a difference between wandering and following a map. So if you are just moving in circles and moving here and there without doing anything, that's something else. But if you have a methodology, it's just like a map. You are going somewhere and you do have a map, then you can easily travel to that place. And what is the order of accuracy of the result of a method? That you are testing some sort of methodology, and it helps answer it will help you the methodology will help you to answer the important question: why are you doing this study, how did you choose the problem, what kind of data are you collecting, what tools will be you using, and why you will be using some specific tools. For example, if you want to find the best mask to prevent flu, this is a very common thing. Everyone know about the flu. So you will ask that why mask? How will I compare them? Should I collect hospital data or do public survey? These questions forms your methodology in the research. And you can now easily pick a health topic. You can even do assignment, pick a health topic, answer any two of the five key methodology questions for the topic, and then you will be able to find out that how this methodology will be used. Now we feel what is the efficiency of methodology. So the research methodology will also define the efficiency of the methodology, and how it can help the different question, how it can answer the different questions, and why it is important to work on that method. So you explain all these things in your research methodology. And more precisely, research helps us to get a solution to a problem. On the other hand, research methodology is concerned with the explanation of the following: why is particular study undertaken, just like we studied, and why the study is undertaken, how did one formulate a research problem, how to formulate a research problem, how to work on a research problem, and then how to formulate a research problem and research questions. What type of data were collected, like if you are doing any type of research. And the importance of research methodology in research study will be that you will be defining the type of data you are collecting, and what particular method has been used, and why was a particular technique of analysis used for that specific data sets. So in methodology, you will be answering all the questions related to the methods, and this will help you better explain your research, and this will help you easily justify your research and easily defend your research whenever you will be conducting any type of research. So the research methodology will help you, and the study of research method give training to apply them to a problem. You study a research method that will give you training to apply them to a problem, and the study of methodology provide us the necessary training in choosing method. Like if you look at these terms, research method will train you to how to apply them to this specific problem, and the research methodology will provide you the necessary training, the necessary in choosing methods, materials, scientific tools, and training in techniques relevant for the problem chosen, that you have chosen as some specific problem and you want to work on that thing, like research methods give you what you do. For example, you want to conduct interviews, you want to conduct lab tests, and the research methodology will provide you the plan that why and how you are doing it. So methodology is a set of method which is used systematically to solve a research problem. Its aim is to give the work plan of a research. You want to conduct some specific research, the methodology will give you the aim to give the work plan of research, and these things will help you better work on your research. When you will know that what methods will I use, it is very important that if you are conducting any type of study, either it is a cross-sectional study, it is association study, it is some sort of prevalence study or molecular studies or genetic study, and you name it, there are many lot of studies. So you can select any of the study, but you have to define the methods. If you know about the methods and methodology, you will be able to easily conduct your research. If you don't know about the method that you are using chi-square, let's say you are using t-test or chi-square for some specific problem or some specific data, and you don't know that why you are using that technique, why this method was chosen, and how this will be used. So you can't know about the research very well if you don't know about the research methods and you don't know about the research methodology. The questions why, how, these questions are very important, and one should always focus on such questions while conducting research. And if you follow this pattern, you know about the research methods, you know about the research methodology. These things will help you to learn your research by your own, and at the end of the research, you will be able to justify research to anyone. The very common saying in research is that if you are unable to understand it to a common man, to make sure that you are unable to understand them, then it means that you don't understand it yourself. If you don't understand your phenomena by yourself, you will not be able to explain it to someone else. So basically, the basic aim of research and or this internship is to make sure that the students who are conducting some specific research is they know that why we are using the specific, like the specific terms, the specific research methods and the specific research methodology. If you want to conduct a research on let's say there's a psychology topic, some sort of sleep disorder, and you want to associate sleep disorder with the use of mobile, then the first thing will be that what type of method will be you using. Will you be conducting online surveys, will you be conducting different type of studies, and what type of questions will be included in that survey. So if you don't know that why I'm adding these scales or this test to that particular thing, that particular research, then you will not be able to explain this to someone else in the future. So research, the aim of research is not to publish some articles or some research papers or review articles. The basic aim of research is to learn it by yourself and then make sure that you deliver it to someone else. You make sure that the research work does not stop with you. The learning you have acquired does not stop with you. If you want to excel in the research, you have to make sure that you teach to others, and this will make you a real mentor. This will make you a real researcher, that if because when you share research with someone, you learn yourself a lot of new things. So if we look at these tables, which is about research methods and methodology. So if you look at the meaning of research methods, so basically research method implies the methods employed by researcher to conduct a research. Like in simple words, research method will tell you what do you do, what you want to do, or what you do. For example, will you be conducting different type of test or lab work or any other type of things. And the research methodology means that research methodology signifies ways to efficiently solving problems, and why and how you are doing it. This question is answered through the research methodology. What is research method? So behavior and instruments used in selection and construction of the research techniques. For example, think of ingredient methods as ingredient, and methodology is the recipe. And research methodology is the science of understanding how research is performed systematically. So this will answer all your questions. And if you look at the research method encompasses the carrying out of experiment, tests, surveys, and so on. And the research method is, let's say, blood test for anemia, and the methodology will be the study different techniques which can be utilized in performing of experiment, test, or survey, etc. For example, if we look at the simple example that you want to test to do conduct study on the blood test of and for anemia, so your method will be blood test for anemia which you will be conducting, and the methodology will be that why this test, or who to test, and how to collect and store sample. So now you can even do a short type of homework where you will be writing one method and its related methodology in simple time. You can share it with us, and we will provide feedback on that. You can share it in your respective groups. We will be answering to your queries, and we'll guide you on that things. So, what type of research method compromise of different investigation techniques, and the research methodology compromise of entire strategy towards the achievement of the objective, the entire strategy which will be put in achievement of that objective. You want to achieve some objective, and just like I told you that methodology is recipe and method is ingredient. You have a recipe and you have a different ingredients, then you can work on the recipe and through the guidelines of the recipe and make something from that ingredients. So this is the basic difference between research method and research methodology. Like I told you earlier about these things that research method and research methodology are two different things. And the objective of research method is that to discover solution to a research problem, and the objective of the research methodology is to apply correct procedures so as to determine solution. You are working on something, and the method, the correct procedure you will be using to find out solution to some sort of specific question or problem is your methodology, and that research problem, that solution to that specific research problem or any other problem is your research method. Now we will be moving towards the types of research, and what are the types of research, and what are the main types of research. So basically there are two basic types or main types of research. One is fundamental or basic research, which is also called as basic research, and the second one is applied research. So these are the two terms we will be studying about these two terms right now, and we will discuss that how different are these methods and how we can use this fundamental and basic research and applied research, and how we can differentiate between two types of research. So there are two major types for basic research, and in basic or fundamental research, you understand how things work, and in the applied research, you solve the real world problem. You work on a real world problem. For example, if you look at the simple research, basic research, it will be studying how the immune system work, and applied will be testing a vaccine for flu. So if you look at the fundamentals of basic research is basically an investigation on basic principles and reasons for occurrence of a particular event or process or phenomena. It is also called theoretical research, which is the investigation on some basic principle and some reason. You are trying to find out the reasons for the occurrence of some particular event or some particular disease or some particular problem or phenomena. And this is also called as theoretical research, and it is concerned with solving any practical problem of immediate interest. There is a practical problem and you want to solve this. This can be solved through basic research. And it is an original, if you look at the characteristics of basic research and or fundamental research. So basic research is done to, it is original or basic in character. It is done to increase knowledge, and it may not be useful right away, like understanding genes or brain function, but these things will help in future treatments. And for example, discovering DNA structure did not treat disease immediately but became the basis for modern genetics. So the scientists who discovered DNA and find out about the DNA structure. And so this was not something that immediately had the geneticists or other field of study or molecular biologists to solve problems, but at later time it did help the scientists to to solve real life problems, and it provides a systematic and deep insight in a problem and facilitates extraction of scientific and logical explanation and conclusion on it. Just like you all have studied Mendel laws in your intermediate or metric, where we studied the Mendel is called as the father of genetics, and he formulated he formulated few laws. He worked on few things which later become laws, and you all know about all these things related to him. So these things did not help the scientist or genetist to find out cure or solution to the problems right away, but in later stages and even today, these laws and these principles are guiding researchers, and these are guiding different peoples of different fields, and specifically research related, specifically genetics related, and all these people worked on that thing. So this was a basic research, and it was a logical and explanation and conclusion. Sometimes it may not lead to immediate use of application, so it is not necessary that the research, basic research you are working on will lead to the immediate use of the application, and but it can help you build new frontier of knowledge and lead to new theories and ideas in the future. So all these things might help in the future, and you can you do know about basic many basic discoveries in biology or medicine you have studied, and these all things had later on helped the humanity. Just like if we study about you all might have studied about the Louis Pasteur, who was a bacteriologist, and his studies, his research had the world in later stages, and today we understand bacteria more easily due to his work, due to the basic work of Pasteur. And that's why in this field of science they give you credit for something you have done, and that thing may be very basic, but it may lead to the new theories, to the new ideas, to and it may open the door to the new knowledge. And that's why it is important, and basic research or fundamental research is a very fundamentals of the research, and it is very important to learn about the fundamental research. Now, if you look at the applied research, that what is the applied research and how we can differentiate a research that outcomes of which has immediate application is called as a applied research. In this research centered problem employing well-known and accepted theories and principles are solved, and it is helpful for basic research. So basically applied research is a practical research, and it solve problem. Now, for example, you are testing that which drug lowers BP faster than the other. You are just like you have a different drugs related to blood pressure, BP, and you want to test that which drug lowers the blood pressure easily. And then you share it with the science community, so it will help the doctors to choose treatment easily, and it might save the lives of many patients. So basically the applied research is something that gives outcomes, that gives results. And for example, if you are studying that if telemedicine help rural patient, that's applied research. And you can even work on different research cases, case studies in your research. Please don't use these things so that our researcher does not disrupt it. Okay, so applied research is a practical use to current activity, just like a police investigation, which directly investigate the things and arrest the criminal. So applied research is something that is applied and it's concerned with actual life research, such as increasing the street crime rates in specific locality. So the government institution will directly respond, like you are checking a drug for different drugs on BP, that which one lower BP faster. Then these all things are original research, applied research. So the difference between the basic and applied research is that basic research seeks generalization, and the applied research studies individual or specific cases without the objective to generalize, and it may work on some specific or deep down topics in some field. And the basic research aims to basic process, and the applied research aims at any variable which makes the desired difference. So basically these are the difference between basic and applied research, that how you can differentiate between basic and applied research. And I hope that after all these explanation you might be able to explain it easily that what is basic research and what is applied research, and you might all be aware of this basic and applied research is. So anything that might help in later stages, which is very basic and fundamental, that is the basic and fundamental research. And any research which have a intermediate or direct outcomes, and you can apply that outcomes to the other peoples, to the other scenarios. This is type of applied research, and it aims at any variable which can make the desired differences. You are studying just a one variable for some specific diseases, and you want to, let's suppose we say that there are some specific genes which are creating issues or causing the disease, and you want to silence that genes, and you are working on that specific disease, some specific gene or some specific protein which activate that genes. Then this is a sort of applied research. Now, a basic research attempts to explain why things happen and try to get all the fact. And applied research tries to say how things can be changed and tries to correct the fact which are problematic. That these facts are problematic, and we need to work on that some facts. And in basic research, it reports in technical language of the topic, and applied research reports in common language. So I guess you all now know about the basic and applied research. So now we will be studying about the kind of basic and applied research, that what are the basic and applied research and what are the types of the basic and applied research. So basic and applied research are generally of two kinds. If you quantitative research and qualitative research. So these are the different types of basic and applied research. One is the quantitative research. You all might be aware of the quantitative and qualitative research. So quantitative research is basically the basics of applied. The basic and applied research can be quantitative or qualitative or both, which is called as mixed method. So what is quantitative research? It is based on the measurement of quality, quantity, or amount, and the process is expressed or described in one or more quantities. The result of this research is essentially a number or a set of numbers. So the quantitative research is the numbers. Quantitative means numbers, and it is used to measure how much, how many, how often, and you use scale, scores, and measurement for these things. For example, measuring height, weight, and BP, and survey where you want to conduct a survey, and survey on different students to find out the rate stress rate, and there is you have given the scale 1 to 10. So this is basically a quantitative research, where you find out some quantity, and the result is some sort of quantity, like all the prevalence study or cross sectional study or the epidemiological studies are the part of quantitative research. And the another thing is quantitative research. So it's qualitative and quantitative. So we will discuss the qualitative later. First of all, we will discuss the characteristics of quantitative. So basically, like I told you earlier, that it is numerical and non-descriptive and applied statistics or mathematics, and uses numbers. And it is an interactive process whereby evidence is evaluated. You find out the exact number to some sort of disease. For example, you are working on malaria, and you want to find out the prevalence of malaria in Peshawar in this summer. And for this purpose, you will be working on a quantitative research, and you will be answering the questions on quantitative base. You will be finding out some specific numbers of prevalence, percentage, and graph, and you will be representing your results through tables and graphs. And it is very conclusive research, because you get a specific number, like if you find out that prevalence of malaria is let's say about 30% or 35%. So it will make sure that the policy maker can easily use these statistics, these numbers, to find out the cure or solution to that specific problem. And it definitely investigates the what, where, and when of decision making. And if we look at the qualitative research, so qualitative research is concerned with qualitative phenomena which involve inequality. So qualitative means words and meanings. It explores emotion, experiences, and opinions, often done using interview or open-ended question. For example, it is non-numerical and descriptive. and you can use it applies reasoning and uses words. And the aim of qualitative research is to get the meaning, feeling, and describe the situation. Qualitative data cannot be graph. It is exploratory type of research, and it basically answers the questions of why and how of any decision which you want to make. So but for example, if you are asking a patient how they feel about chemotherapy, there is a patient, a cancer patient, and recently gone through a chemotherapy, and now you are meeting that some specific patient, and you want to find about the experience of the chemotherapy. Then you will be, and you ask the patient that how they feel about the chemotherapy, and he explains, or he or she explains the chemotherapy, and you write it down. So it is basically an exploratory research. And for example, if the second scenario, if we look at the second example, for example, if you are interviewing students on why they skip breakfast, so there will be different answers to that question, that why you do skip breakfast. If I ask all of you that this question, that why some of you people skip the breakfast, there will be different answers to that questions. So it is basically an open-end questions. And so other type of research, we will discuss the other type of research. So first, the action research. What is action research? It is a fact finding research to improve the quality of action in the social world or medical or any type of situation. So the action research is to improve something. For example, you are working on some specific application, you are a or medical student, you do know about the IT, and you want to develop an app to reduce the hospital wait time of patient, or to reduce or to easily manage the surgeries of surgeries appointments or any other things of the hospital. For that purpose, you will be doing an action research, which will be a fact finding research, that how you can improve something, that how you can improve the patient data protection, that how you can use that data specifically for research purposes. So all this is action research. And the another one is explanatory research. It is for searching explanations for events and phenomena. For example, why are the things like what they are. So basically, exploratory research is to learn more when little is known, and exploratory is to explain reason behind something, and to find out the, for example, in action, if you will look at the example, one of the example of action research which is related to medical science. For example, you all HOs and MOs and all the fellows of medical line, you do know that there is a lot of noise in the wards, and a lot of patients, and everyone make noises. So you want to find out that how to reduce the noise in wards. So this is type of action research. And like you want to explain the reason behind something, that will be explanatory research. And the exploratory research is for getting more information on the topic. You want to get more information when little is known, and you want to explore that thing. There is some specific drug related to BP or cardiovascular diseases, and you are noticing that a lot of people are dying from that thing. And like there are several cases in front of you that you observed, you advised, you given that medicine to some patient, and the patient got worse or even died. Then you want to explain or explore that why patients are reacting not properly to that type of drug. So this is type of exploratory research. And comparative research is, it is for obtaining similarities and differences between events, methods, and techniques. So in comparative research, you are comparing two objects, two things. For example, let's say that there is a comparative research. You want to know that which mask works better, cloth or surgical mask. So this will be a comparative research. Which drug A or drug B, technique A or technique B, which one works better? So this is type of comparative research. And if you look at the critical research, the other type of research, which is also critical research, it is also a critical assessment of existing work to explore the merits and demerits of that specific work. So, critical research reviews and critiques existing knowledge, and in critical research, it come up with new ideas like new ways to do surgery or design a medical tool. There is some surgery and happening in the hospital, and you want to come up with new ideas that how you can do it better. That how you can and there are two type of surgeries, and you want to compare that which one will be more efficient for some specific disease. So it is definitely critical research and creative research. It involves the development of new theories and invention, and it cannot only always be planned. It is not necessary to plan a creative research that you want to explore some new things in human body, you want to explore the effect of some drugs, or you want to, if you are working in a molecular biology and designing some sort of medicines, and yeah, there may miracles happen, and you might be able to discover some new drugs, some new medicines. But it is not always planned, and it sometimes happen by chance events. And in creative research, developing a low cost, for example, stethoscope for rural use, or different you come up with new ideas, and you want to perform some surgery in a newer way. There is a surgery in medical field, and you are observing that surgery, and you want to improve that surgery, you want to perform it in a new way, to perform it in a better way. So this will be a type of creative research. So this was all about the research methods that we studied, that what are the types, like we today we studied about the basics of research method, that methodology, that what are the research methods and how you can differentiate between research method and methodology. And we explain these things in detail, that what do research methods include, and how you can differentiate between research methodology and research method. We briefly explained this. We also discussed the importance of the methodology, and then we studied about the questions that methodology answers. We also compared the research method and methodology and types of different research, like basic and applied research. You knew about the basic research and the applied research and the other types of research, which are different type of research, like we studied about this thing, that qualitative, quantitative research, and action research, exploratory research, explanatory research, and comparative research. So these are the different types of critical and creative research. So we studies all these things, and I hope you will be able to learn this. And research is the engine of medical process. You have to master this principle, and you will not only publish paper, you will advance in your healthcare, and you can use different methods and different techniques for your studies. So if you have any type of question, you can ask in chat box, or let me give you people permission to unmute yourself.